I'm going to share with you today is there's going to be 3 parts to it. The first part is an overview of the survey. What are the questions that has been asked? Second, part B will be about the students' feedback. There's a lot of feedback. As usual, whenever you release a survey, especially in Google Form to students, there'll be a lot of there'll be a lot of input. Some of them useful, most of them very useless. Okay, something like I love you lah, or nothing, or no. So what I've done is I've already cut off all those things, and any duplication of let's say input, I've already combined into one. So I'm not going to put a lot here in part B because, like I said, it's mostly very general and mostly very repetitive. Okay. In part C, there'll be some suggestions for improvements from the students themselves, from the survey, and also from what I've gathered before from the previous survey. Okay. So let's start with part A. What is this survey all about, and why is this survey necessary? Okay. In the first survey, in the first sharing, like I've mentioned, the survey covers only, the survey asks students based on their experience in semester 1. Okay, so we need to know what is the new experience they've gone through in semester 2 so that we can improve further. Okay. Also, the survey was conducted mainly by the students themselves, especially the Exco Academic Jawatankuasa Perwakilan Pelajar, which was, I think, headed by Mr. Tiong, okay, one of our students. I'm sure you know who Tiong is. Okay, so on his own, not to say on his own, maybe on the part of his own JK, on his own Exco, they did the survey all by themselves. Okay, they come up with the questions, they ask the students from time to time to fill up the questions and so on. Okay, but there are certain things that are not being asked in the survey. Okay, for example, things like what is the best, which course has the best implementation of eLEAP that can be used as an example to other courses, right? So when we ask them during a meeting, with them, when we ask them, it's mostly answers from Tiong and Gang lah, not really representative of what the students think. Okay, so that's why we need a new survey specifically to ask about eLEAP alone. Okay, not about the content of the learning unit or the content of your courses. It has nothing to do with how you conduct your courses. It is just about eLEAP. All right, so we want to focus on that. Okay, so this is what is shown in the first part of the survey. The intent of the survey is to gather students' feedback on the online learning experience for semester 2. Okay, up until last week, and of course we do tell them that their input is really necessary and really important for us to improve our eLEAP management. Okay, so now these are the statistics, okay, the numbers of the participants or respondents. As you can see, most of the groups, more than 50% of the students have responded. In fact, I think on average it's about 60 to 65% have responded. All right, so this, I would say the findings of the survey is quite valid, okay? And because this survey is open to both physical Hayat and also, of course, the IFS module physical Hayat students, there'll be a lot of, a lot of false input. For example, Hayat student picking physics, okay? Even though they do not take any the physics course, or physical student picking Hayat, even though they don't take, biology, even though they don't take biology course, okay? Or like, for example, physical students, they suddenly want, higher students, they suddenly comment on competency ICT, even though they do not take competency ICT this semester, okay? So what I've done is I've already, in a way, kemaskan lah, tidy up all the data, whatever rubbish input I've already taken out. So out of the 720 responses, when I weeded out the useless or the irrelevant input, I only get 613, 613, actual genuine response. All right, so not that bad. It is still about above 70% of the total number of students. Okay, so we can say that this is a representative of what students think. Okay. Now, the first question is more towards a general. What do they feel about the new eLEAP portal? This one, the answers, the students are required to answer this by using a Likert scale of 1 to 4 only, where 1 represents sangat tidak memuaskan and 4 represents sangat memuaskan. Okay, only 1 to 4. There's no middle ground. There is no moderate or neutral or something like that. Okay, so first is about in general, is the new eLEAP portal better than the old version used in semester 1? Okay. Secondly, is the new eLEAP portal easy to navigate through? All right. So the first one is more towards a general, what do you call it, experience, while the second one is we zoom into the navigation. Okay. And then when it comes to submission, of course, students are required to upload content such as assignments or reports. So I need to put in this question: is the uploading of content easier through this new eLEAP portal or otherwise? Okay. Most of the answers for these 3 questions I will not share here, but because most of them will, actually not say most of them, I would say more than 90% answers either 3 or 4. In other words, very good. Okay, so in general, the new eLEAP portal is very student friendly. Okay, they like it, right? Now, we go to the part where we need to dig in a little bit deeper when it comes to the use of the eLEAP portal by the individual courses. Okay, so question 4, 5, 6, and 7 are related to that. In questions 4 and 5, they are asked to pick one course that has the best layout and implementation of the new eLEAP portal, and also what is the feature in that particular course portal that sets it apart from other courses. Okay, now there's a lot of answers for this one, and especially for number 5, but like I said, the answers are rather repetitive, so I'll condense it later and I present to you afterwards. Okay. For question 6 and 7 is the other side. Which course has the least useful layout and implementation of the new eLEAP portal relative to other courses, and why is this so? Okay, for question number 7. Now, I will not show you the actual finding for question 6 here because I don't think it is fair, since all of us are, in a way, we are all newbies when it comes to this new eLEAP portal and also when it comes to online learning, although it has been more than 1 year, all right? Or about 1 year, I think, okay? So what I will do is that after this course, after this particular workshop, I will email all the course coordinators the actual finding. Okay, so you can see what are the students' comment. Okay, unfiltered, uncensored. Okay, uncut. So you can read through their comments and hopefully you can improve upon it. Okay. And then the last question is in general as well, a suggestion for PPPU to improve its online learning delivery, especially through eLEAP. Okay, because this survey is mostly about eLEAP, so we need to concentrate or focus on one thing. If you focus on content as well, there'll be a whole different workshop altogether. Okay. Now, like I said, the respondents, the feedback have been filtered out. Those bad responses has been weeded out. So what the students like, okay, in general, basically just these 2. This is to answer the first 3 questions, their general opinion on eLEAP. Okay, for them, the new eLEAP is more compact and also it displays better on smartphones compared to the old version. So I've yet to see, I would say the percentage of students who answered otherwise or negative answer, very, very low. Okay, probably less than 5%. Okay, so we can say that students generally like this new eLEAP version. All right. Okay. On the other hand, there are a lot of things that students want. Okay, and this also overlap with the findings in the earlier survey. All right. So one of the few things that student wants, I listed out 13 here. So the first one is, of course, they want all tasks or assignments due dates, okay, especially when to hand in, integrated in the eLEAP calendar. All right. So I'm sure this can be done. Maybe some courses have done it, but I think this is a valid suggestion because our students are at their homes. Okay, they are alone at their homes. They do not have their lecturer to, let's say, to instantly ask for confirmation, for example. So it's best if they have some kind of a planner. Okay, and what we do have eLEAP calendar, so I think we need to make use of that. Even for us, we use MS Teams. We do have planner as well when we plan our tutorial and live sessions, right? The second one is related to the first one also about tasks or assignments. Okay, they want some sort of a notification. Okay, either through the eLEAP portal or through email. I think they just need notification. From the perspective of the instructor, from our perspective, okay, we are only handling one course. Okay, imagine if you are the student. You're the student and you're facing a lot of courses, and then you're not sure which one is due, which one is not, and have you submitted or not. So I think this is also another what do you call it, a valid suggestion, right? If there is a feature to enable notification to remind student of due task or assignment, it's good. If not, what you can do is that we can put inside the eLEAP portal itself any updated, let's say, any updates on due dates, all right? So we can say that reminder, something like that. So that the moment they open their eLEAP page, they can already see that there is something due, okay, soon, okay? Now, integrate progress bars to allow students to check their progress. I think some courses have implemented this, and later Mr. Adrus will show you how this thing actually works, the progress bar, because students love to see how far they've gone through the content of the eLEAP page for a particular week or for a particular LU. Okay, so this is another thing that can motivate them. Okay, they would know have they completed all or have they just only started. So another valid input from the student. Now, this is about navigation or the content that you put inside the eLEAP page. So number 4, make it easier to navigate to other courses like the old eLEAP. Okay, so I think this is about the sidebar. In the old eLEAP, you have the sidebar at the side. I think on the left side, if I'm not mistaken. When you're already inside the mathematics eLEAP page, for example, and you want to jump to chemistry, you can just click the link at the side. I think this new eLEAP doesn't have that particular feature, right? So they kind of missed that particular feature from the old eLEAP. Quick links at the top of the course page to easily navigate the LU. This has been shared before in the first sharing, okay? And I think mathematics have done this before, and some courses have already started implementing this. And students keep on giving this particular suggestion. So I think this some courses may not have done this, and since students like this so much, okay, it's better if the courses can start to implement this. Number 5, quick links at the very top of the course page, so that you can easily navigate through the LUs. Okay. Number 6 is another one, because sometimes students, they may not be able to join a session, so like live session or tutorial, or they may have difficulty in submitting their work or assignment. So what they want is the contact number or contact preferences for the lecturer in charge for that LU or for that assignment inside each of the LU section or the assignment section. For example, quiz, okay? So the name of the lecturer in charge, the contact number, and how the lecturer would like to be contacted, okay? Either through WhatsApp or phone call or email. So it's better to put there because I think some lecturers, they do put their email, but when contacted through email, maybe because we're busy and all, so it's we do not reply immediately. So because of that, it's better if the lecturer in charge or the particular LU can put in there what is the method, the communication method preferred, all right? So that students can reach them as soon, what do you call it, instantly, like in a way. Okay, of course you don't have to answer them instantly, but at least the students are aware that they can contact the lecturer in charge through the preferred method. Okay. Number 7, a lecture video should open in a new tab. Now, this is interesting because a lot of students also give this particular input. That's why I put it here, right? So students would rather, when they click on the lecture video link, it opens in a new tab. I'm not sure why they like that. Okay, maybe for some of us, we prefer the lecture video to be open on the same tab or the same page, right? But they would like it to go to another tab or maybe another new page, okay, instead of just start playing on the current page they're in. Okay, I'm sure they have their reasons because this is also quite a popular suggestion. Okay. Number 8, I'm not sure about this one because there is no input on which course does this. Do not use Google Form for attendance taking. Okay, quite a few also put this in, so that's why I put it here. So for those courses using Google Form, especially to take attendance, maybe you should rethink of a better way to take attendance, or improve on the Google form itself. Okay, probably it could be confusing, or there could be no feedback for the student. For example, once they finish the Google form, maybe there's no feedback saying that they've already done it or they've already completed it, because when they click the link again, it will open a fresh new Google form, right? So they wouldn't know whether they've done it, they've completed the attendance or not. Okay, that's what I guess this is about. All right. Okay. Number 9 and 10 is mostly about standardization. And this is also a major input from the student. They want the courses eLEAP pages to be standardized. In other words, look-alike. Not to say look-alike, I guess not really look-alike, but in terms of navigation, in terms of how the attendance link or video link is done, they would love it if it could be standardized. And I wouldn't blame them, because if you have to navigate through multiple courses, it is easier if the courses, all the courses have standardized eLEAP page. Decoration-wise, that doesn't matter, okay? But things that they should do, for example, there's a link for the LU at the top, or if they click for attendance, it opens in that page or something like that, okay? And based on their input as well, they would rather all courses follow what mathematics and chemistry did with these new eLEAP pages, right? So because of this, later, if any of the course coordinator or the lecturer in charge of the eLEAP portal page for your respective courses would like further input, I suggest you can contact, for chemistry, you can contact Mr. Hafiz. Mr. Hafiz, he's, in a way, he's the one who maintained the chemistry page. And for mathematics, I'm not sure who, but you can contact the course coordinator so to see how they do it, right? I'm sure they are more than happy to help you, okay, to give you not more than happy to help you construct your page, but more than happy to give you, to help you with the hints or the suggestions, all right? So these are what the students want when it comes to the overall eLEAP portal, okay? Now, the last three is, I think it's more towards not eLEAP portal per se, because this is in a way out of our how to say, out of our I don't think we are capable of solving this. Number 11 here is make sure submitted data are not lost when eLEAP is upgraded or updated. I think this is a once-off thing, because a lot of students complain about this. They put it here, and they mentioned about when it was upgraded from the old one to the new one, their attendance record, the submission, all the submissions that they've done before are erased somehow. Okay, so because of that, they feel demotivated. All right. So number 11 could be a one-off thing because of upgrade exercise, all right? Number 12, optimize eLEAP for smartphone display. Even though the new eLEAP is rather smartphone friendly, but there are some courses that somehow do not use text for their content. So instead of using text, these courses uses screenshot or screen capture. So it is displayed as an image. So when it is displayed as an image, on a smartphone display, it looks too big and the student have to scroll all the way just to read a sentence. All right. I think that is what is meant by number 12 here. And number 13 has been asked before, dark mode. This one, I don't think we can do anything about this, because this is dependent upon the student's devices or the student's browser or other things. So dark mode is a bit, their reason being most students access eLEAP at night. And I can understand this, because all of us will activate dark mode at night. All right, so this may be something that can be brought up to those who maintain eLEAP. Okay, so this is beyond our but we can do some kind of suggestion, right? Okay, so those are essentially what students want, okay, and what students like. There are 13 here that I picked up from the various input that they have. There's about 613 input, but most of them will fall in these 13 categories here, okay? Now, let's look at what students considered best. Which course student considered best when it comes to the use of eLEAP, especially this new eLEAP, okay? So for Asasi Science Physical students, this is their feedback, only for Asasi Science Physical students, meaning that those physical students, they are not allowed to do any feedback on, let's say, biology or any other courses they do not take, all right? So I only put the top 2 here because I don't think I want to show the others. So all the courses taken by physical science students, they are listed. So students only need to pick one, all right? So here you can see that 47% of the respondent choose chemistry and 43% chose physics. Okay, so I think you can safely say that if you want to improve your eLEAP course pages, what you can do is you can refer to chemistry or physics. All right. Now the breakdown, what is represented by the yellow color, this one, I have all those information. So before I release them, I think I will have to go through Cik Adrus as the JK e-learning, and also maybe Dr. Muna or Dr. Ruana or Cik Razif, okay, to see if it is necessary or not, right? Now for Asasi Science Hayat students, including the IFS module Science Hayat, 84% of them prefer the chemistry layout, while 41% prefers the mathematics layout. Okay, so I think you can guess lah, mathematics is yellow here, right? So for the physical student, that one also represent mathematics. Okay. Okay, so once again, as a summary, I think we can safely say that if you need to see best practices when it comes to the layout and management of eLEAP pages, you probably have to you probably can refer to chemistry, physics, or maths, right? Okay, this is only for the best eLEAP use. Like I said, I'm not going to show you the ones that students considered not as optimized, right? Okay, but the feedbacks I will, of course, give it to the respective course coordinators. Okay, now let's go to the last part. Okay, so improvements. So these improvements are those suggested by the students through the survey, and also those that we've come up with based on the previous survey. Okay, so for the improvement part, I can divide this into two parts. The improvements on the layout of the eLEAP page and the improvements on the usability of the eLEAP page. Okay, so layout here includes aesthetic, how does it look like, and the presentation of materials, for example, the font use, the size of fonts or images, and so on. While usability refers to the ease of use, for example, navigation and user friendliness, especially when it comes to uploading materials or attendance. All right. So let's look at the first part regarding the layout. Now, students did suggest this. Okay. They suggest that we have to use text for all non-chart or image contents, because this will make it easier to read on a smartphone screen. Okay, so on a smartphone screen, which is a portrait layout, what happens is that if it is written in text, if it is typed in text, okay, the text can be easily arranged in the screen. Okay. Now, if you look at the last point that I put here, the screen capture image of text instruction. Some courses apparently do this, where the instruction is written or typed in Microsoft Word, but somehow it is copied and pasted as an image in the eLEAP page. Okay, so what happens is that if it is copied as an image, then it will be too large to be displayed on a mobile device. All right, so on a PC or on a laptop or maybe on a tab, it's much easier to look at. But when it comes to a smartphone screen, the student either have to reduce the size or increase the size depending on the image used. Okay, so for non-image content, or if the content is not charts or image or flowchart and so on, it is best to type out the content in the eLEAP page itself. All right. The good thing about this is that not just for the student, but also for us, because if you want to edit, it's easier for us to edit. All you have to do is enter the edit mode and just type normally. All right. If it is an image and you need to edit it, you have to delete the image. Then you have to retype the thing, screenshot again, and paste the image again. Okay, there's a lot of work involved there. So this is one of the things that students want. And also, it will make it easier for students to copy and paste information or instruction on eLEAP to their smartphone planner or calendar. Okay. Now, for example, if let's say they have their own calendar, due dates, for example. Okay. And then on the eLEAP page, there's an instruction on what to do, and there's the submission date. So all they have to do is just copy that text and then paste it inside their calendar. All right. So it makes it easier for them to do so. So that's for the text part. So for all non-chart or image contents, it is advisable to use text. Okay. Now, for images, talking about images, okay, they did suggest that do not put in any QT image, image that are not relevant to the content, all right? So all images must be relevant to the content if necessary, especially for students who are using their data plan. So large uncompressed image may, well, maybe for us it's not that much, but for the students who are relying on their data plan, it could gobble up their plan lah. So it's better if you only put in image that are relevant to the content. Okay. This can also avoid unnecessary clutter, especially when viewed on smartphones. Once again, if you have image, and this image, they are not as flexibly arranged as text when it comes to display on a smartphone. So it's best if you cut down on the uses of irrelevant image. Okay. Another thing is when it comes to images, it is better if you can scale image proportionally to avoid image distortion. I think you know what is meant by here. For example, if you have an image of a butterfly or a building, okay, and you want to scale it down, you want to resize it so that it is smaller and fit on the eLEAP page. Okay, make sure that you resize it in such a way that the ratio is maintained. So it is not compressed if the photo doesn't look too thin or too wide. All right. This is to avoid image distortion, especially with image that have text inside. Right. Another thing is this is my own suggestion. I think as a we are staff of an institution, learning institution. So it's best if we use our own images. All right, our own original images if you can. If not, you can use those Creative Commons images, but make sure you put in the appropriate attribution. All right. For example, copyright or from where and so on. It is good that we show this on eLEAP, so the students, in a way, they will subconsciously learn that whatever they take from the internet, it has to be in a way cited lah, in a sense. Okay, it has to be referenced. Okay, it must be acknowledged. All right. So these are for the use of images. Okay. Now, for clarity of presentation, okay, also under layout. Okay. Once again, standardized font sizes for different sections of the page. For example, for LU title, what is the size of the font, the shape, the size, the color, whether it is bold or italicized. For topic title, maybe have another different heading, different formatting. For assignments, maybe different formatting. Maybe you can put red color, so that red colored font, so the students are immediately attracted to that particular point and they know that it is important. All right. So all these headings, it is very good if you can mark them clearly. Okay. Tunjukkan dengan jelas bahawa mereka benda-benda ini adalah tajuk ataupun latihan-latihan ataupun perkara-perkara yang mereka perlu lakukan. Alright. Untuk memisahkan antara tajuk dengan kandungan. Alright. Use colors to emphasize urgency. Any new task or updated information or due dates, you can use red color font or whatever font that you find near. In eLEAP, you can use a HTML code if you want. Okay, HTML code where you can make a red highlight behind the text, and the text itself is yellow or white, and then so it pops out more. Okay. So if you have to see an example of this, I'm sure maybe ICT or maybe chemistry have this. So you can see an example of that, right? Now for instruction, especially long instructions about project or about, let's say, assignments, it is preferred that if you use numbered list, just like the methodology in an experiment, step 1, step 2, step 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? A numbered list instead of paragraph, all right? So sometimes paragraph is too long, students may not have the patience to read, or maybe they overlook certain important information. So it is best if these instructions are laid out as a list, all right? And the last one could probably be the due date or how to submit. Okay. So this is more on the clarity of the presentation of material inside your eLEAP pages. Okay, now let's look at how the usability can be improved for navigation. This is what we've talked about earlier. It is best if the courses can provide links to the LU sections at the top of the eLEAP page, as done by mathematics and chemistry, if I'm not mistaken. So at the very top of the page, you put the LU1, it's a link. So when you click the link, it'll bring the student straight to the LU1 section. Okay, whether it is in the same page or you will load a new page. All right, it doesn't matter because student wants this. They do want this at the very top. Okay, and also some student, probably around, I think less than 20%, but I think it is something to do with the link as well. They would also like links. Let's say you've already gone to LU1, the page for LU2, for example, the page for LU2. At the very bottom, there is a link to the previous or to the next LU, okay, or to the previous or the next section. Okay, so they don't have to go to the main page again to access the next LU or the previous LU. Okay, so all this I think is possible. It could be done. We just have to invest more time in beautifying our eLEAP, all right? Not beautifying with images, beautifying in terms of navigation and usability. Right. In terms of user friendliness, the first point that is that you can see here is a very major point. Okay, for some courses, okay, the students would like the courses to present or to provide submission or attendance link or attendance taking based on students' groupings. For example, physical 1 student, they only need to click 1 link. Okay, physical 2 student, click another link, instead of an a general link, okay, attendance. So when the student click on that link, then they will have to fill up. They prefer if the links, either for submission or for attendance, are based on student grouping. So if let's say for mathematics or chemistry, 7 groups are involved. So it's good to put, for example, Hayat 1, Hayat 2, Hayat 3, Hayat 4. So only Hayat 1 student can access the Hayat 1 link, and only Hayat 3 student can access the link for Hayat 3. All right. This will not only make it easier for the student to know where to submit, but also easier for the lecturer, okay, to download all the submission later, okay, and also to to organize, okay, the students' input. Another one also applicable to some courses is the presentation of the content. So they prefer students. They here refers to the students. Okay, students prefer that the eLEAP pages is broken into LUs rather than learning week. So instead of learning week 1 or learning week 12 with the dates there, most students, I think more than 70%, have commented for that particular courses that they prefer it to be broken according to LU. Okay, so inside this LU section, these have to be provided as well. Who is the lecturer in charge and how students may contact him or her. All right, and what is the contact preferences? Second, any update for the particular week or for the particular LU. For example, any change in the any error in the slides, or any change in the tutorial time or PBL time or SC, all those other sessions. Okay, the downloadable content only for that LU or anything related to that LU. For example, external resources. Just put inside that particular LU. Do not put it outside. All right, in the general page. Okay, and that all video links should open in a new page. Once again, this is I don't know why students like this, but yeah, that's what they want. All right. So this could be the improvements that that you may implement to improve your eLEAP usability. Okay. So once again, based on LU rather than learning unit. Learning week. Okay. Now, I do have specific feedback here referring to for all the courses, for each of the courses who are what are the students' comment for the courses? What do they like about that course, the eLEAP, not the course, not the course content. What I mean is the eLEAP layout itself, and what they think that the particular course should improve on. Okay, so I will email this to the course coordinators, and it is up to the course coordinator to follow or to take some to make use of the comments. But bear in mind that these are feedback from students, all right? There's a pro and cons when it comes to listening to students. Number one, the pros would be they are our client in a way. They are the end user. They are the one who access the eLEAP page. So if our eLEAP page is made in such a way that it follows what they want, it could motivate them to want to visit the eLEAP page again. It comes to motivation, all right? Ease of use. It can also reduce their stress when it comes to attendance or whether they've completed a particular assignment or not, all right? So it is best if we take into account what students want. On the other side, on the con side, some of these input, they could be too general and also too demanding. All right, so maybe it could not be implemented on our side. It has to be done by those who maintain eLEAP itself. Okay, so whenever you read the comments, please don't take too hard. Don't take too hard whatever they've written. They are students after all. Okay, tak ada apa. Mulut boleh kata mulut tak ada boundary lah kan, okay, but it is an honest input. Okay, now apart from that, I will also suggest for those courses who would like to improve their eLEAP layout and implementation, you can probably contact those from chemistry, physics or mathematics to do so, to look at how they manage their eLEAP page respectively. And maybe in the future, maybe not now, but because this is not a policy yet, okay, not a policy yet. So maybe later in the future, we could look into standardizing the eLEAP pages, okay? Doesn't mean that they all have to look the same, but in terms of layout or navigation or how things are, the links are being done, maybe that could be standardized, okay? To minimize confusion among students, all right? Okay, that's it from me today. I think I've talked a lot, so hopefully it could be beneficial to you. If you feel that the thing that I shared just now is rather general or something you've known already, so probably you can see the specific feedback when I email them, when I email those to the course coordinator. The course coordinator, of course, you may share those comments to your respective lecturers, all right? So whoever maintained the eLEAP, okay. Maybe I can put in another suggestion. Probably each course could have one lecturer in charge of maintaining the eLEAP, okay, to maintain standardization. Okay, that is just my suggestion. It is up to you guys. All right. Okay. I think that's it for my session today. Anything that you want to ask, or especially about the survey or about the eLEAP itself?
Ada soalan kah?
Ada soalan, guys? Okay, I'll stop sharing for now, Adrus.
Ada one input from Ikhwan.
Ikhwan, all right. Can we have a look at the best look eLEAPs, user friendliness, etc.? It's only fair to see what deemed as good from the student's perspective, as there are no rubrics guideline. Number two, should there be any guidelines throughout the course for eLEAP? And if yes, should there be a workshop for eLEAP curator? Okay, very good question from Mr. Ikhwan, our Life Sciences Program Coordinator. Okay, for the first question, the best look for eLEAP, I don't think I can share it. Of course, I don't think I can share it without the consent from the course coordinator. Okay, so if the course coordinator want to share it, you may do so. Mathematics, physics, or chemistry, you can share your screen if you want to see it. So for number two, like I said, there is no policy for this yet. Okay, there is no policy for standardizing our eLEAP look. Okay, in terms of format, font color, and size. Of course, we leave it to the course coordinator. But if there is going to be a policy, yes, then we do need a workshop for those eLEAP curator so that they follow it lah, just like our exam format, for example. Okay. I hope I answered your question, Mr. Ikhwan. You are always welcome to look at the eLEAP pages, but I do need the consent from the course coordinator to show their eLEAP pages. Actually, I only have the access to chemistry, so tak dapat lah. Okay. Does that answer your question, Mr. Ikhwan? Or probably partially answer your question? Yes, yeah, that's a good one. Course coordinator can discuss among themselves. Mr. Abang Mahmud Zaifah say nak tengok chemistry boleh. Kena tanya Puan Wan Roslina dan Dr. Melody lah selaku penyaras khusus. Please. Okay, and maths, for Ikhwan nak tanya pasal maths. Okay, this one pilihan khusus MD and also Puan Fazliana. Puan Roberta has a question. Is it possible to have one general template? Now, this is referring to, I think this one is out of our league, kan, Adrus? For template ni, I think it has to be, in a way, it is already a template, kan? What we have now.
Some universities, they have, hello, can you hear me, Jay?
Yes,
Boleh dengar kan? Hello.
Boleh.
Okay. Some universities they have a strict template for things like slides, even slides that they use for class. But we differently allow creativity to, if we fix the slide, there might be some class content that would not fit to use the template. So that's why we don't have that kind. If you want to start standardization, I think what we can start would be the banner, the outlook, the general outlook for the course in the eLEAP. I think we can start with the course banner and also each of the LU banner. I think that would be a good place to start lah. But there's no current need for that. But if we want to go towards standardization, it would be a good lah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adrus. So, chemistry, is it okay if I were to share the screen? I mean, share the eLEAP.
Yeah, okay, Jay, boleh share.
Okay, boleh share. So I'm going to share both the one that is displayed on a monitor display, what do you call it, on our PC, and also the one that is displayed on a smartphone, right? So I'll show you the PC version first. Okay. So hopefully you can see this. Can you guys see this, all of you? You can see this, right? For chemistry,
yes,
yeah?
Yes,
Ignore the faces. Okay, basically this is what is meant by the link. As you can see, there is a link for all the section for this particular page. Notice board for lab session, for group project, for tutorial session. So for each of these sessions or projects, they are divided here so that anything regarding tutorial will be posted here, anything regarding the group project will be posted here, and so on. Okay, and also the LUs down here. All right, so LU1 until LU7. For example, if the student want to access LU3 straight away, they just click on the LU3 link and it brings them to LU3. Okay, and in LU3 there is the lecturer in charge here. We may need to put in the contact preferences as an additional information and the learning weeks involved. Okay, so any updates will be put at the very top. Okay, here these updates probably pertaining to this particular week, for example. Okay, so if we go to next week, we can cancel this update lah. We put a new update, and all the materials needed we can put there. Okay, so forum and feedbacks as usual, and this is the one that I was talking about when it comes to submission of assignment. Okay, so for example, for physical 1 student, CISA is our chemistry assignment. So physical 1 student, they only need to click this particular link and submit. All right. So any other students that doesn't belong to physical 1, when they click this, they cannot submit lah. All right, because their account is based on their groupings. All right. So to do this, we need to use groupings. Okay. So this is the example when it comes to NEA. So I want to share here also the. Let me see if I can share it here. Okay, the one for the phone. Screen. Okay, so for the phone, it looks something like this, right? You all can see this? Yeah, no? Yes, sir?
Yes, I
so
can see it.
Once again, because it is text-based, there is no image. You can clearly see that the text are squeezed in. All right. So if it is an image, it might, you might need to scroll to the left or to the right. So once again, everything is there. Maybe the font is a bit too big. Okay. So all instructions are laid out in steps. rather than in one full paragraph. Okay, and the access all still works. Okay, so this is for chemistry. So I'm going to I'm going to stop sharing for now. Let's stop. All right, how about for mathematics? Anybody wants to share for maths or physics? If there's any.
Bos kami tengah synchronization dua-dua, tak boleh minta izin.
Tak boleh minta izin. Okey, kalau macam tu bagaimana dengan kursus fizik? Yati atau Fina? Kalau tak nak share pun tak apa, okay? So later maybe each course coordinator or anyone who wants to see it, you can just approach a physics course coordinator or mathematics course coordinator to see how they implement it, all right? Okay, so for chemistry, I would say I have to give credit where it's due. Encik Hafiz is the one who maintain it, and he's very particular when it comes to all these things. Tapi janganlah korang pergi spam, jangan spam Encik Hafiz, okay, to ask him to do things. Okay, you can get from him, tips couple from him. Okay, he'll be very helpful. Okay, tak boleh. All right, so now. That is for the eLEAP thing. Let me go back to the question. If there's any other question, template tadi Mr. Adrus dah jawab. Soalan daripada Puan Roberta. Soalan daripada Encik George. Any comments from student regarding to graphic images in eLEAP, blurry image or watermark? There's no question about what. This is from George. There's no question about watermark because I don't think students are very much aware of this. They themselves like to use images. Without properly attributing those images to the sources. So what we can do, like I said, suggested earlier, is that as the example, we can set an example even in our eLEAP page. If we use images from other sources, especially Creative Commons, none of our original images, it is better to put attribution there so that the students subconsciously, they are aware that these images come from outside and they have to do this. Okay, not just for eLEAP, but also for your course content. Okay, if you take some image from something else, right? Otherwise, the alternative is you can make your own images. You can create your own images. For the past 10 years, I think, well, we've been here for 10 odd years. So I think it is about time that we produce our own images. That has always been my personal view, all right? Okay, so that's for Mr. George. For the blurry image, especially when it comes to those instructions that are screenshot or screen captured and then paste into eLEAP as an image. This is a very big problem for students because they find it very messy. Sometimes the image is not the same size. So some announcement looks big, some announcement looks small, and then it looks rather unprofessional. Okay, so we as the academician, I think it is best that we show an example on how to be professional, even though through eLEAP ni pun, I think we can do our part, all right? So that's for Mr. George, from Mr. George. And then, okay, ada lagi, let me see if there's any other question. Okay, Mr. Ikwan wants to see maths. Okay, so maybe maths, anybody from maths want to share or to make sure you get consent from your course coordinator.
J.
Yes.
Yana ni.
Yana, yeah.
Sekejap Yana share.
Okay, thank you Yana. So Puan Fazlana akan berkongsi screen untuk page eLEAP Maths.
Boleh nampak ke?
Boleh nampak.
Okay, so yang ni main eLEAP untuk math. So kita orang buat link macam ni. So instructor quick access. So quick access ni macam dia nak pergi direct terus LU mana-mana lah. So terus tekan link ni. Contoh yang ni. So adalah ini siapa instructor, and then ini kita punya instruction lah. So first ni kita punya slide video, and then attendance, and then apa yang dia kena buat, and seterusnya lah. So, apa lagi nak tahu?
Thank you Puan Fazliana. Saya rasa dapat dilihat dengan jelas inilah menggunakan color saja tim mathematics dapat menghias eLEAP mereka ni supaya setiap link tu jelas, okay? Topik tu jelas, and then apa yang perlu dibuat, instruction semua dalam bentuk list senarai. Jadi another thing that we can take an example from. Okay? Terima kasih Puan Fazliana kerana berkongsi laman eLEAP mathematics tadi. Okay, so ada apa-apa lagi pertanyaan servis sebelum kita teruskan dengan sesi seterusnya? Okay, rasanya tak ada. Okay, so kalau tak ada, saya serahkan sesi seterusnya kepada Encik Adrus. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you Jay. Okay, so chemistry page eLEAP is very good. Okay, I think it's good enough that for the next pencalonan best blended learning, I think chemistry boleh hantar, boleh menang ni. Okay, so I'll continue. Nanti kalau dah pencalonan tu dibuka, kamu akan beritahu saya akan berhubung dengan saya akan email semualah, siapa yang nak hantar boleh hantar. Okay, I think
kami pun akan cubalah terus.
Ya, boleh.
Rasanya kami punya pun okey tu.
Kenapa saya galakkan kita hantar ni? Sebab kita punya page ni dia dah set. So we don't have to do anything extra untuk hantar pencalonan. Just mention minat untuk masuk kepada pencalonan anugerah blended learning, dan if kita punya page tu is good enough, they will consider it as an entry lah. Okay, so that's why it will be good for us. Okay, I will continue this session with what's new in eLEAP. Okay, I will share what's in eLEAP, a bit on eLEAP as a synchronous tool, a bit on examination, and also a bit on what's new in eLEAP. Okay, I will share my screen now. That screen yang saya share.
Nampak terus.
Okay. So my section there will be also 3 parts. The first one is why we use eLEAP. Okay, we have been using it for so long, but I would like to share just the benefits and why we need to use it. Okay, part B is on examination setup. Okay, I think we have been going through a lot of workshop on this, so this is just additional things, some new things that I think that will be beneficial for all of us. And part C is what is new in eLEAP. Okay, because we have a new eLEAP starting from I think we start using it in February or March. I think in March. Okay, I think 8th March, something like that. Okay, so let's start with part A, why we use eLEAP. So we start with what the advantage of using eLEAP itself. Okay, my connection is not that great today. So if you cannot hear me well, please do tell me so I can go slower a bit. Okay, so advantage of using eLEAP is currently it is the best tool for delivering asynchronous content. Okay, that we are using. Okay, it can enrich students' learning experience. Okay, it enable innovative teaching methods such as flipped classroom. Okay, so there's a lot of tools inside eLEAP. Activities that we can add on towards our teaching method instead of just relying on our traditional method. Okay, and most importantly, in the current setting, it facilitates online learning. Okay, that we have. Okay, number 2, synchronous. Why can't we have synchronous classes only? Okay, so synchronous class would be expensive in terms of data usage. Okay, if we have synchronous class, the cost is around 1 gigabyte per hour. Okay, from the perspective of the students, and it should be used in moderation. And we should think what activity is suitable to be run in synchronous and what should be run in asynchronous. For synchronous, it would be activity that requires interactivity, something like discussion or presentation. And also, by running class in asynchronous mode, we include more type of students. Okay, I call it synchronous inclusivity here. Students can access the content at their own time and pace. Okay, this solves two different problems. The first one is students that have limited time window to access content. Okay, due to sharing device. Okay, like in one family, they have only 2 laptops and have 4 children, for example. Okay, so they have limited time to access the content due to the
Okay, I think there's a bit of a problem with Mr. Adrus' internet connection. So
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
now
back.
okay.
Hello.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Adrus.
Okay. Okay. How about my speech and audio? Is it cracking at times? But is it still understandable?
Just now, before you were cut off, it's okay. It's a bit
Oh,
cracking, but now okay, clear.
all right, okay. So, so the first problem that it solves is on students that have to share device, and also the internet can be only accessed at certain hours only. And the second problem that it solves is it gives it's if we have different types of learner, fast learner and slow learner, by having asynchronous content, they can consume this content at their own pace. Okay, so this is something beneficial and for them. And comparatively, if we look at if we have poor internet, if we have content asynchronous and we have content synchronous, synchronous will suffer more. If we have mediocre or poor internet, the synchronous content will suffer more. But asynchronous content, it is still manageable to have a good class if you have poor internet. Okay. Okay, so that is on part A. On the importance of eLEAP, using eLEAP, and part B, eLEAP examination setup. Okay, there are 5 input in here. Online examination strategies, demonstration on simple MCQ exam setup, live invigilation, user overrides, and importing, exporting using GIF format. Okay, let's go one by one. Okay, this is what I shared last year. Okay, but a lot of this is something that is closely connected to the policy. 6 and 7 is the setting in eLEAP itself. Okay, 6 and 7 is the consideration and setting that we can do in eLEAP. So that is what we will discuss. Okay, question setup. Okay, we have a random question order, random answer choices order, and random question variance. Okay, for each question. So we set it before as minimum 3. Okay, so if you have 20 questions, we'll have a variation of 60 questions in the bank. And this is act as a good deterrent to copying and discussing. Okay, so this is an important thing that we did in our eLEAP exam. And timing, the duration is just enough to answer question, plus 5 to 10 minutes padding for technical issues. Okay, students are required to attempt the exam at the same time. Okay, so they cannot sit together and attempt one student's question first and then attempt their own. Okay, students that start later than cut-off time must give valid reasons. Okay, and this prevents cases of starting late while attempting on questions shared by other students. Okay, so this is our current practice also now. Okay, I'm sharing it because it is the important part. Demonstration on simple MCQ exam. Okay, I think I can skip this part first because I think we have done this a lot of times together, and I think this is our current practice as well. Okay. Okay, let's go here first. Okay, if we have more time, we will go back to how to set up MCQ question. I think most of us know already how to do that. Okay, live invigilation. This is the part that I would like to share, but I don't think we can do this. Okay, but I just want everyone in Pra University knows that the current the practice that is done in other institution. Okay, and maybe we can look at it. Yeah, if we have the opportunity. Okay, so if we want to have live invigilation, there are prerequisites that we have to pass. Okay, the first one is students have both smartphone and laptop. Okay, because the smartphone will be capturing the image, and laptop is where the student will be sitting and answering the exam. Okay, student invigilator ratio is at 116 or lower, because at 116 the invigilator can see the students in panels, like in meeting panels on your screen. You can see them clear enough. Okay, if the student is in this ratio, and must have both a good internet and device condition. Okay, to ensure the exam can be, the invigilation can be run smoothly. Okay, so the smartphone is used for online meeting to capture the image, and laptop is used for answering the question. It need around 30 minutes to set up before the exam to have good camera angles on each students. In terms of fairness, I think it is best that live invigilation is only done where we can capture where all students participate or none at all. Meaning we cannot have just a portion of student on live invigilation and a portion of student doesn't have due to not having device and so on. Okay, it wouldn't be fair. Okay, so this is an image that I take online. This is a Chinese proficiency test in Singapore. Okay, so you have you can see that this 2% is the invigilator. Okay, so students would have to capture their own picture with their smartphone. And the best case would be where you can see what the student is doing, something like this. Okay, something like this, where you can see what the student is doing in front of the laptop. Okay, so you can also see the screen quite clearly. Okay, but it is we shouldn't be able to do this yet because of we cannot hit the three prerequisite that I mentioned earlier. Okay, even our student number is ratio, we cannot hit the good ratio to do this. Okay, okay, so that is on live invigilation. Okay, the next one is on user override. Okay, user override is a function in eLEAP that allows the invigilator to allow special attempts on quiz. Okay, if the students have not yet attempt the quiz or test, you have to set the attempts to 1. Okay, so this is the if you click at the settings for your quiz, you can see at this on this side you can see user override. Okay, so when you click user override, you can see this part of the screen here. Okay, so you can set in case that the quiz or examination time is already over, you have to change the timing where the quiz closes, meaning you extend. Okay, extend the time. Put their name here. And, for example, you only want to allow one single student to take it even after the allowed time. So you put the name here and then you change the close time. And then the attempts allowed. Okay, this is the important part. If the student have not yet attempted, meaning dia terlepas, you set this time to take the test or exam, but they overslept. And then when they wake up, the time is already over. So you need to extend the time. So you put the attempts allowed to be 1. Okay, but if they have already attempt once, but during the attempt there is a technical error, they cannot open back the quiz. Okay, there are 2 ways to solve this. One is to delete their current attempt. Okay, you find them their attempt in the list of attempt and delete that. And another way is to use user override and put attempts allowed to 2. Okay, so if you allow the student to reattempt, you put the attempts allowed to be 2. Okay, so but the current practice that we have is we give PDF file to students, right? Okay, so this is maybe you can use this for tests aside from the major tests, for example, aside from mid semester and final exam. Okay, so this is on user override. Okay, this is the interesting part that I would like to introduce, which is to use GIF format. Okay, GIF, GIFT, not GIF, the moving image. Okay, GIF image, sorry, GIF format, which stand for General Import Format Template. Okay, I suggest that we use this for importing and exporting our exam questions. Why? Because it can conserve question formatting and category. Okay, file is also easily manageable using any text editor. You can use even use Microsoft Word to edit text. You can use Notepad, for example, WordPad. Okay, avoid having to always be online when you are making your question. If you are using if you are trying to input it straight into eLEAP, you have to be online. Okay, you have to be online. You have to log in. So if you are creating the question in GIF format on a text editor, you don't have to be online during making the questions. Okay, save a lot of clicking and waiting. Okay, if you do it in eLEAP, you have to click create question to create put it inside the website form, and then click save and create another question. There's a lot of clicking and waiting. Moreover, if your connection is very poor, it will be very tiresome. Okay, if you create it in a text editor, you have a big picture view for entry and checking. Okay, so meaning you can check all of the question to be correct before you upload it, rather than creating one question at a time. It will be and then when you want to check, it will be troublesome as well. You have to click the question and try to edit the question to be able to each of the question and then answer options and so on. Okay, we also have backup in on PC. Okay, for example, if remember when we change from to the new eLEAP, some of the data in the old eLEAP is gone, so maybe having a backup in your own PC for things in eLEAP is useful. Okay, but please remember to store it securely. Each process of creating questions in bulk. Okay, so if you have 60 questions to make, and then you have to input one by one in eLEAP manually, it will take a lot of effort. And by using GIF, you will save a lot of this effort. Okay. It can be used with all types of question in eLEAP, not only MCQ. You can use true, false. You can use MCQ question that have more than one answer. You can have maths numerical responses. Fill in the blanks and options. Okay. Okay, and also I can suggest that vetting is also done in this format. To avoid entry mistakes. Okay, for example, you have already vet the question correctly, but the error is during the entry of the question. Okay, meaning your answer options, you have already vet it A, B, C, D correctly, but when you copy paste into eLEAP, you copy it wrongly. Okay, so if you vet in this format, this wouldn't happen. Okay, so you can see when you try to import one of the format that is accepted is GIF format. Okay, so this is what that I'm suggesting for us to use. Okay, there are basic syntax. It's like learning programming, right? But actually, it's quite simple and straightforward. You just have to stick to the template. Okay. The basic syntax is open and close bracket for answer option. Okay, so this open and close curly bracket is for answer option. So you can see if you have a question here, and then when I put the open curly bracket, that would be the answer options. And then don't forget to close curly bracket. the question name. Okay, the question name, the student wouldn't be able to see the question name, but you will use it for managing the questions. Okay, so it is important to name it correctly. For example, I name this question Q1. Okay, Q1. Student wouldn't be able to see this name, but you put the question name in between two colon symbol. Okay, so you put two colon symbol, question name, and then two colon symbol again. Okay, and then the question itself. Okay, you can see the question itself comes right after the question name, but the question name must be in between these four column. And then for the answer options, equal sign is for the correct answer. Okay, the ordering is not important. You can put the correct answer, the second one, but the equal sign in front of it will indicate that that is the correct answer. And then for the distractor is the tilde sign or this wavy symbol. Okay. Another thing that is important is when you want to select category. So this is the way to put it. Okay, $, category, colon, and a space, $. This part just leave it be, course/top, but you have to remember this part after slash. This is the category that the following question will be in. Okay, so like in this example, you have one question only. So when you select this category, this question will go inside this category. Okay, inside this category. Okay, white space means something. Okay, so this white space meaning you must put an enter here. Okay, for this to be imported correctly. Okay, so please make sure that there's a white space. Okay, meaning an enter. You have to enter and then enter, then start with your question. Okay, but if you're using the template, you can just skip that. Okay, there are two ways to learn syntax for different questions. Okay, you can create the question in eLEAP and then export it to study it, or you can use also online resources. Okay, I will share one PDF file after this, so we can see. Barebone template is better than using exported. That stores the questions formatting as well. Okay, so I recommend everyone is using a barebone template and then build the question from there. Observe when you import, observe the list of successfully imported question to see which one needs to be fixed. Okay, for example, if you have 10 question that you want to import, but when you see how many question is successfully imported, is only 9, meaning one question is having a wrong syntax. Okay, maybe you forget to put correct answer, or maybe you forget to put proper colon sign, or forget to put curly bracket, or you forget to put empty space. Okay, there are possibilities, but when you import, you can check whether the question imported is in the correct number. Okay. Okay, let me show you the one file. Okay, so I'm sharing a PDF file here. Okay, so because I want to share the different type of question that we can use in the GIF format. Okay, so this is the one that I explained earlier, MCQ question. Okay, we have the question name, the question itself, and then the answer option. Okay, correct answer, equal sign, distractor, tilde sign. Okay, okay, so you can see the question would appear something like that. Okay, so we can also have a question that have multiple right answer. Okay, so you put the percentage there. Okay, so you have -100, -100 on all of the wrong answer. Okay, and for all of the breakdown of the answer, for example, this question have 2 correct answer, so you put it 50%, 50%. Okay, so actually this description is wrong. Okay. So the correct answer is actually these two, Okay, so this is distractor 1 and this is distractor 2. Okay, so if you answer or you pick any of the distractor, so you will have negative 100. If you pick one of the correct answer, you will be have 50%. If you pick both of the correct answer, you will have 100%. Okay, for example, what color is the sky? The answer would be, what is the answer? Okay, this is the question, blue or black. Okay, so this is how you set it up. Okay, for true or false questions, okay, you write the questions, and then in the curly bracket, you just write a T or F. Okay, T for true and F for false. Okay. Okay, for question that have short answer that can have multiple answer. Okay, that is how you can write it. Okay, that's the format. In the curly brackets, you put equal sign, possible answer 1, possible answer 2, possible answer 3. For example, here, which actor currently plays 007, James Bond? Okay, so you can have Craig, Daniel Craig, or just Daniel, okay, as the possible answers. Okay, matching. Okay, matching question. Okay, so the way you put it is equal sign. What you want to match with the answer of the matching. Okay, in the middle, the symbol is dash, and the larger than sign. Okay, so you can have it something like this later. Okay, matching questions. Okay, missing word. Okay, so you have the sentence, but where you want it to be missing, you put the curly brackets, and then you will have the answer in equal sign, and then the distractor as still the sign. Okay, so it will be look something like this. When you student press, they will have options. Okay, this is numerical type of question. Okay, so there are two ways. If you want to reward answer that is close to the correct answer, you can do this. Okay, if you just want one correct answer, you can just stop at this one line. Okay, so the important thing is to put the hash symbol here, and then for half mark answer, meaning this for half mark answer, just put percentage 50 between the two percentage symbol, and then put how far can it go. 2 meaning plus and minus 2. Okay, so the student plus or minus 2, it is still considered correct, but you will be have 50% answer only. 50% mark only. Okay, half of the mark. Okay, useful for maths if you want to. And this is essay, but essay you have to mark manually. But if you want to store essay question in eLEAP, okay, you can just write it like this. Okay, with just open and close curly bracket without anything inside. Okay, so when you import it, eLEAP will consider it as an essay question. Okay, so this is how the student will see the question. Okay, they will have this box to write and format the answer. Okay. Okay. Good things to be aware of. If there's no question name, if you don't put the double colon sign, then the question itself, the entire question itself will be used as the question name. Okay, which is not recommended. Okay, so please use question name properly. Okay, if you want to give feedback to question, if for example, if you are doing quiz, you want to give feedback, you can use hash and then the feedback that the student will get if they answer that question, if the answer with that answer options. Okay, if your questions are using this symbol, because this symbol is reserved for the syntax itself, please use backslash in front of it. Okay, and then if you are using a Microsoft Word, please save as plain text or .txt. Okay, if you are using Notepad, it will be the main format that you will be saved as. Okay, and that will allow it the file to be imported successfully. Okay, so now I'm gonna share a template. Okay, I'm gonna share a template. Okay, so this file template 1 is in Notepad. Okay, I create the file in Notepad. Okay, so that would be the template that I suggest everyone to use. Okay, to start, if you want more question, you can just copy and paste. If you think that you have, you want to have this one only have 3 questions. If you want to have 4 questions, you can just copy and paste it. Okay, copy and paste it. Okay, and just edit the question. Remember earlier we have I copy question 3, right? So the new question I have to change. This is question. The category would be question 4, and this would be the first variant, second variant, and the third variant. Okay, I'm gonna change a little bit only. Okay, but I'm just gonna keep the answer options like that. Okay, that's how it is easily expandable. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't have to keep on create new question in eLEAP. It will take so much time, and then here you can have a big picture of what your question is. Okay, what your question is. I'm gonna show you now on importing the questions into eLEAP. Okay, let's change this to Byte-Size. Okay, so it will go into the correct category. Okay, so I have now 4 questions with all of them having 3 variants. So now I'm gonna stop sharing the template. I've saved the template file in text. Now I'm gonna share my browser. Okay, so this is a test page that I've requested from Calm. Can everybody see this? The page that I'm sharing?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
so first you would want to turn editing on, and then let me just add a quiz here. Okay, or let me just edit current quiz that I have. Quiz. Okay, I have a quiz, but before we add the question in the quiz, it is best that we import the question in the question bank. Okay, in the question bank. Let me go back to here and then go to question bank. Okay, can everybody see this? Okay, I'm going to question bank and I'm going to import. Okay, import. Okay, so in the import page, I'm going to select GIF format. Okay, and then I'm going to drag and drop the text file that I have earlier into here. So you can see that the file earlier is called template1.txt. So I'm going to import it. Okay, so after I press import, so all these 12 questions is already imported in that instance into your question bank. So let's now go to question bank, and then let's see. Okay, I put it under test exam Byte-Size. Okay, so here you can see 12 questions already inside. Okay, which you have already vetted. Okay, at this point, you are already sure the question options is correctly set and everything. The question is at the state that it is already ready to be used. Okay, so you have the question inside. What is left to do is to go back to the activity that we have earlier. Okay, for example, this is the quiz activity. You just edit quiz and then add question from question bank and then go to question 1 first, for example. Sorry, the one that we should add is a random question. Category would be question 1 from test exam Byte-Size. Okay, add random question. Okay, so I have question number 1. Question number 2. Question number 3. Okay, and as you can observe from this practice, this can reduce error from happening. Okay, meaning if you already vet with the external panel from the faculty, for example, you have vet it nicely, but the error comes when you're trying to copy the question into eLEAP. Okay, but by using this and also vetting the question in the GIF formatting, where everyone can see it, whether the formatting is correct or not, you can ensure that there will be less chances that an error will happen. Okay, so you can see that we have all of this question in, and then we can preview the question. Okay, this one I didn't change earlier, so it still states question 3. Okay, so you can see that that's the way that we can. It is a good way to manage your exam question, especially if you have many questions. For example, for final exam, you have 60 questions. So I suggest this method. Okay, so that is on GIF formatting. Okay, if you have any more questions on this, you can ask later. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this and then share the slide again. Okay, so this is the last part for my section. Okay, what is new in eLEAP? Can everybody see this clearly? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, why new? Okay, the reason that we moved to the new eLEAP, new features on eLEAP, general eLEAP tips, and also some external tools that I would like to share. Okay, generally I don't like external tools, but I will share some of it that I think would be useful. Why new eLEAP? Since 8th of March this year, we have a version update from 3.2 to 3.9. Okay. If you didn't know, eLEAP is using the Moodle open source backend. So you have new software and new hardware. It is on a new database that is handled by CITDS. Okay. New software, a new version of Moodle. It is more reliable, faster, user-friendly, and we have many more features, okay, which I will share after this, okay. Materials from the older eLEAP can be imported to the new eLEAP. I think some of academicians asked me earlier how to do that. You can email eleap@unimas.my and say that you want to have access to your old eLEAP all eLEAP site. Okay, it is currently called Vault. Okay, but you have to access it as the guest. Okay, so you will be given a username and password and also a PDF file as instruction on how to import things from there. Okay, but you might want to just see things from there and then copy it, copy the text from there manually. Okay. Okay, new features on eLEAP. Okay, so I put it in 4 categories here. This is not exhaustive, meaning there might be more than this, but this would be the one that I would like to highlight. Okay. So we have new monitoring tool. Okay, I will share after this how to use progress bar, how to use heat map, how to use attendance. And then we have also analytics graph, but I don't think that is that useful for us. Okay, we have a new reward or motivational tool. Okay, earlier we have badges. Okay, now the badges feature is improved a bit. Okay, we have also stamp collection and certificate. You can create custom certificate for each of the student in your class. Okay, so meaning student A will have the certificate with their own name. Student B will have the certificate with their own name. Okay, custom certificate. And then, but the one that I will share is progress bar and level up. Okay, these two I think is the best ones in my opinion. We have also more activities, games, jazz quiz. Okay, jazz quiz is similar to Kahoot. Okay, how to use Kahoot internally, but I think it's not that nice looking and with good functionality as Kahoot currently. So, but we have that functionality in eLEAP. We have also diary activity and also mind map activity. Might be useful if you want the student to collaborate and do mind map inside eLEAP itself. Okay, other new features would be the web version is more mobile friendly, as mentioned by Mr. J earlier. It can be used with Moodle mobile app. Okay, if you go down in your eLEAP page, you will see this symbol. You can see that you can get the mobile app for both App Store and also Google Play. This is the logo of the app itself. Okay, which can be used to observe and participate in our eLEAP. Okay, but when I investigate it a bit, the best one is still the PC web-based, which will give you the most functionality for eLEAP. Okay, is still the best. Okay, but some students doesn't have that. Can only enter with their smartphone, so this can be a good way. Okay, accessibility features on this. It looked like similar to a dark mode. Okay. 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 Before we go to progress bar, I would like to show the dark mode. Okay, so this is the eLEAP page. Can you see the eLEAP page, Jay?
Yes, Adrus, can see the test page.
Okay. So at the bottom left corner, you have this logo of a person in blue. In this blue box, you can press that. Oh, I think you have to go to. Okay. At your page, you can press that button. It will come up with accessibility setting. Okay, you can change it to dyslexic font as an option, and then you can also enable accessibility toolbar. Okay, these are the two things that you can have access to. Dyslexic font is for dyslexic person to be for that person to read better. Okay, after you save that, you will see at the top of the screen, it will have this functionality. Okay, you can increase the font size, decrease it, go to the default. And the one that I say is close to the dark mode is this button here. Okay, high contrast. Okay, so I know it's not the dark mode yet. It is designed for accessibility for students that have a hard time reading things with less contrast. They can, but I think it can also be used to as a temporary measure for dark mode lah. Okay, I think Moodle is currently working on the real dark mode. Okay, so that is on accessibility setting. Okay, next I would like to share on okay, sakit kepala, so I restore it to the okay, that's how you restore it back. Okay, let me share the slide again. Okay, now I would like to share on progress bar. Okay, this is one of the best new functionality that comes with the new eLEAP. Okay, so we have progress bar. Okay, with the progress bar, the student will have the need to get all green. Okay, you see this bar will appear on the side of the eLEAP. I will show you after this how to put it there on the right hand side of eLEAP. Okay, you might see it hidden, but if you press the blue button, you will get it to show the sidebars, okay, or the boxes. You call it the boxes. This will motivate a student in a way that if they complete a task, they will see it as green. If the task is overdue, it will be in red. Okay, if the task is not yet started and it will be in the future, it will be in blue. Okay, it will be in blue. Okay, so this will be always this is always visible on the right hand side of eLEAP. Okay, so it also gets students to prepare for future tasks. Okay, so we have student tanya next week kita buat apa, so if they refer to the completion progress, they can check. So this would be forum, for example, or a quiz, for example. Okay, it is a good visual cues to summarize the task for the whole semester. Okay, you can set it for the whole semester. You can set it for LU. So you can have a completion progress for LU and so on. Okay, so I put this under two category earlier, right? One is to motivate student. So when students see this, they are motivated to complete their task. And one is to monitor. Okay, so you can click the student version, they wouldn't have this button, but for the instructor version, we have this button. So when you click this button, you can see a summary of students and their progress bar. Okay, so you can observe which, for example, you want to troubleshoot which activity student doesn't really join. Okay, and then you can even press this header to arrange it according to what it is. Okay, for example, if you press on progress, you will see the student with most progress at the top, or you can press it one more time to see the least progress, and then you can straight away select the student and send message to them asking why you didn't do the quiz for this week, for example. Okay, so it's a good monitoring tool as well. Okay, let me show you how to do that. Sorry, we will be going back and forth my browser and the slide. Okay, so this is the you can see here. Okay, I have already added it. Okay, so you can see because the course haven't yet started and it is divided by topic, so you can see that the indicator of now is at the beginning of the course. Okay, earlier Mr. J have mentioned about having the course in layout of LU instead of weekly, right? It has its own strength and weaknesses. Okay, by having it in weekly, the timing for the course will progress weekly. Okay, so for example, when a student open an eLEAP page, they will see the current week automatically. Okay, but by LU, I'm not sure which one will be shown. But that also affects the completion progress. Okay, if you create a complete course with activities that is having the start and end date, it will work properly with weekly setting. Okay, meaning it will progress. The now here will progress forward according to what week we are currently in. Okay, so that is one benefit in using the weekly layout. Okay, and how to get, you can see overview of students. Okay, there's only one student in this course, which is me myself. I haven't done anything in this course yet. Okay, so you can see 0%. Okay, so you can select the student and then send a message. Okay, you can arrange it according to progress. How to add that is go to the page and click this one. On your left hand side, you have you can have this 3 lines button, okay, also known as the hamburger button. You can click that. You can see add a block here. Okay, so you can press add a block. Okay, or you can also press this folder icon, add a block. Okay, so you can go to completion progress, click that, and then it will be added to this site. Okay, why I like this so much is, or most of the block that I prefer in eLEAP is the one that can handle itself automatically. Okay, so when you add the completion progress here, it will straight away capture all of the activity inside your page automatically without you need to say that, okay, this one is complete, need to go to completion process. This one need to go, this one no need. Okay, by just adding it inside, it will be added automatically, and the process of changing the color is all done automatically. So you just have to edit and then forget about it. Okay, that is, I think, one of the best addition to eLEAP that we have. Okay, then let's go back to the slide. Then we have the heat map. Okay, the heat map. Okay, for heat map, only the instructor can see the heat map. It gives you visual cues. Okay, it gives statistics of views and distinct user for each of the activity. Okay, so you can see here, you can see how many students have seen this activity and how many distinct user. Okay, so if you see it's a high number, meaning 37, but only 3 distinct user, meaning this 3 user is accessing this activity over and over again. Maybe they want to refer something in that activity. Okay, and heat map is according to time. For example, you can set the heat map for the last 30 minutes, for example. So you can see the activity statistic for the last 30 minutes. Okay, it's useful for monitoring. Okay, for monitoring which activity that students have seen or not. Okay, for example, if you have slides, if you have videos, if you want to see how many students have watched those, so this can be a good tool for it. Okay, how to add is the same as the block earlier. We just click add block and then find heat map. Okay, so just have that. Okay, this is another one that I prefer. Okay, this is mostly on rewarding and motivating students. Okay, it is called level up block. Okay, again, it is automatically done, and that's why I like it. Okay, compared to earlier, we have badges or stamps, right? Both of them, you have to create and design the badges and decide who and how to get the badges. But for level up, you don't have to do all that. It is done automatically. Just add the block in your course, and it is when it is there, the student will level up just by all sorts of activity. For example, they sign attendance for the class. Okay, they will have 3 XP. Okay, we don't have to set this number. It is automatically done. Join a group, so they will have EXP and so on. Okay, view the content of the course. So they have 9 EXP and so on. Okay, so it increase competitiveness among students, which is a gamification technique. So student A will see student B. Okay, you are already level 3. Why I am still level 2? Okay, what did you did more? Then the students share, or you I post more on forum, for example. Okay, and that's why I'm already I post 5 posts in forum. So that will in a way motivate students. Okay, how to add the same way? I will show it after this. Okay. And then attendance. Okay, attendance is a new activity that you can add. Okay, so you can have all the attendance of the whole semester in one place. Okay, I recommend to put it in the notice part at the top. Okay, student can record on attendance using password given. Okay, so you can set it whether student can record their own attendance or you have to be the one that set it. Okay. For this part, you need to add both the block and also the activity. You can see this is the block on the right hand side. Okay, it is the summary of the semester. Okay, so you can also break it down. If you want to have attendance per LU, also okay. Okay, you can set that. Okay, for the whole semester also okay. But here it will show you how many sessions is there. Okay, how many score per session? If you want to give score, how many percentage of all of the session? Okay, maximum possible percentage. Okay, and this is the activity. Okay, if you create the activity, you will see this one. Okay, so you see where will be the classes, and student can click that and then record the attendance. Okay. Okay, this is how you do settings in attendance. Okay, one of the important one is to auto set when not marked. Okay, meaning after the class is finished, you set the student to be absent, and then you update it. Okay, so this setting will set that if the student did not attend it before the end time of the class, they will be marked as absent. Okay, this is how you add classes to the list. I will show it after this. Okay, add a session, add a due set date of due. Okay, okay, let me just show it after this. Okay, let's go to the browser. Okay, you can see the attendance. Sorry, let me show you how. You can see here in my eLEAP page, you can see the heat map, right? You can see the heat map. Okay, earlier we edit the quiz a lot, so you can see the heat map indicate that one distinct user, which is me, is accessing the quiz a lot. Okay, so this is heat map. You can see the colors. Red is access the most or most recent, and then you can see the yellow access but less recent. Okay, and then no color or white is have not been accessed for some time. Okay, so this is heat map. You can see the summary at the block here on this side. Okay, and how to edit? Just add a block and then find heat map. Okay, and I cannot see heat map anymore here because I have already added. Okay, and then the same thing with level up. Okay, you can see here I'm already at level 2. Okay, because I view a lot of course and then made a respond to a choice activity. So you can see I have already at level 2. Okay, how to add the level up? Similar to earlier, add a block, find a level up. Okay, you cannot see it here because I have already added. Okay, if you haven't added, you will see it here at around there. Okay, and attendance. Okay, this is what I want to share. Okay, there are two steps for this. The first one is to add the activity. Okay, so you want to add an activity, attendance. Okay, attendance for whole semester. Okay, so you can see attendance here. And then you also would want to add a block on attendance, but I have already added it, so you cannot see it there. Okay, so you can see, as I mentioned earlier, you can have separate attendance for each LU. So you can see I have added two more attendance activity earlier, that which is also listed here. Okay, on the student perspective, they will see what I have shared earlier, the percentage for the whole activity, meaning what is the current percentage. Okay, but for the instructor, they will see something like this. Okay, where they can take attendance or add or generate a report. Okay, let's go here. Okay, what you want to do is to add session. Okay, for example, if you have a repeated class, you want to click multiple session. Okay, for example, your class, for example, ICT class is for every Tuesday from 3 to 5, for example. Okay, date repeat until, for example, you want until 7th of May. You want to set allow student to record on attendance. Okay, unless you want to do it manually for each of the student. This is what I mentioned. Okay, set unmarked at end of session. To show that the student is absent. Okay, is absent at the end of the class. Okay, this is the important part that I'm trying to find. Absent automatically set when not marked. This one. Okay, this one. This is the important part. Update, and then you can go to add session. 3 to 5. Multiple session. Tuesday. May. Allow students, automatic marking. Yes. Okay, and then you press add. Okay, so you can see that between the date that I've mentioned and you will have all of the classes already set there. Okay, so this will be student can record their own attendance when the time is already it's already 3 p.m. on Tuesday, so they can start, or you can force it to start by pressing this take attendance button. If you press it now, even before the date and time have started, you can already, a student can already set their attendance. Okay, so that is on attendance. Okay, so that's on attendance. Okay, general eLEAP tips. Okay, this is the last part for my section for me. Okay, so for video, please use YouTube. Okay, because it's easy to embed. It is on a reliable server. It will automatically decrease the bitrate if the user have low internet bandwidth. Okay, so this is the useful thing. Okay, in case the student have poor internet connection. It avoid the need to convert video. So if you have a very large 4K video, you just upload to YouTube, you don't have to convert it. For example, you use your smartphone or your any application in your PC or your PC camera. Okay, you don't need to convert it. Okay, just capture it, upload it in YouTube. So if it is in high bit rate, it will be automatically decreased. Okay, so you don't need the knowledge or effort to convert the video. Okay, more on the tips is to use bigger size letter and picture. If you want to consider student with low bit rate, okay, you can see that if you have bigger fonts, if the bit rate drops, they can still read it. Okay, and also decrease CAM server traffic and storage requirement. Okay, so you know that you can in the new eLEAP, you can straight away capture your video when you are editing a label. You can straight away use your webcam to capture your video. Okay, but the video is must be less than 50 MB if I'm not mistaken, or 10 MB, and it also have a limit, a duration limit. I think 3 minutes like that. Cloud storage video is in original size. Okay, I saw some courses using this before. They store the video in OneDrive, for example, or in Dropbox, for example. But the bad thing about this is the student have to download the video in its original size. Okay, it is okay if you edit it to be in a low bitrate format, meaning so student wouldn't be, if you capture it in HD, for example, it will be in 3 GB. Then student have to spend 3 GB of their data just to download it. Okay. Although you can see it as if it is streaming when you open, for example, OneDrive video, you can see it as it is streaming, but to be able to completely watch the video, it will be in the original bitrate. Okay. Use grouping for activities. Okay, this increase collaboration, reduce marking load, and you can use auto and custom grouping options. This one, I don't think we have any problems with it in Prayu. Okay, I think our lecturers is really good in the grouping activities and also instructions. Label, this is if you want to achieve blended learning, you have to label it properly. Okay, I put in short, I for instruction, instructional, C content, SC is activity, AS is assessment. Okay, it must be in 1732 to achieve the minimum requirement for blended learning practitioner. We don't have this problem before, but it is useful to label it properly, for especially if you are using external activity or assessment. An example is if you use Padlet. Padlet can be used to submit as things as an assessment, or it can also be used as an activity. For example, you can ask students to discuss the topic today in Padlet. It can be an activity, but you can also use it, for example, to submit YouTube links, for example. Submit your YouTube links in Padlet so other students can view it as well. So that is, it is considered as an assessment. Okay, so you need to label it. Okay, this is an activity. What activity? So when CAM will be calculating the practitioner content, they know that this is activity or assessment. Okay. External tool that is embeddable. Okay, so this again is a bit against what the student wants earlier. Okay, Mr. J says student want things that pop out on another window. Okay, but the negative thing about that is the student focus would be out from eLEAP, and then they might miss some activities. Okay, if you go here, one video open one window and then the next video open another window, so there will be too many windows that they might miss some content. Okay, so my opinion is to have everything within eLEAP itself, so it can retain student focus. Okay, external tool that I would suggest is YouTube, because this one I have discussed earlier why I like YouTube. Padlet. Okay, Padlet is good for brainstorming and collaborative tool. Okay, so, Padlet is also embeddable well in eLEAP. Okay, so YouTube, Padlet, and Google Sheet, all of this is embeddable really well in eLEAP. Google Sheet. I want to show this to you. Okay, I want to show this. Okay, this is the steps. If you look at these slides, you can see the steps how to do this. Okay, this is what I get from online. Okay, it is very, you have a lot of steps on how to achieve it. Okay, but I want to show you what you can have after if you manage to do it. Okay, back to my eLEAP page. Okay, you can see here. Okay, if you manage to embed the slides, you can use it for a lot of things. Okay, for example, if you have 5 groups in your class and you ask them to pick a topic, okay, you can use choice. Okay, but you can also use a spreadsheet. Okay, you can have a short Q&A section. Okay, you want to put the list of absentees, for example. You want to do an announcement, you can use the spreadsheet. Okay, meaning it is a quick way that everyone can join. The bad thing about it is you cannot, if students have access to your eLEAP page, they can edit it however they want as well. Meaning if you have so many students, I think it might not work as well. But if you have like a manageable number of students, or maybe you want to limit the spreadsheet, because it exists in eLEAP as a label, you might want to limit it and hide it from a group of students. Just as a small number of students can use it. But how you want to use it is limitless. Okay, and it is also, you can also access this content from your Google Sheet as well. Okay, so whatever you change here will reflect in the eLEAP page. Oh, where did I write it? Okay, it will be reflected there. Okay, okay, we will have our early assessment for blended learning practitioner. Now is week 12, so we will have the early assessment on week 14. Okay, I think most of the core courses have already achieved the target. Okay, which is 1 instructional, 7 content, 3 activity, and 2 assessment. So, but the elective courses might need to check whether they have satisfied this condition or not. Okay, if you have not achieved the minimum, please inform me, or please do so before week 14. Okay, because on week 14, I will request come to do an early assessment. Okay, why week 14 is so that because after week 14, we still have 4 weeks to achieve it if we have not achieved it yet. Okay, that's why week 14. Okay, so that is all for today's talk, today's workshop. Okay, thank you very much to Mr. J for agreeing to be one of the panelists for today. Okay, and thank you for everyone for attending and participating in the workshop. Okay, I open the session for question and answer. Okay, a lot of the new functions, I tried it, and I cannot really test it because it requires student interaction. Okay, we need real students to test it. For example, the attendance part earlier. I want to see how would would students be able to change the attendance status even after the attendance have expired. I cannot test that. Okay, but by right they could not. So things like that need to be tested lah. Need to be tested for us to learn and make sure how it functions. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Adrus.
Bye.